What's going on, traders? In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 5 steps you can start implementing today if you want to become profitable in the next 3 to 6 months. Now, I've narrowed it down to 5 steps that I wish I was told when I first started trading. I'm not going to get super in-depth about my story right now. That's another video for another day and we'll talk about that later. But I was unprofitable for the first 2.5 to 3 years of my trading career. And during that time, I did almost everything wrong that you can think of. I was chasing signals, I had no strategy, I was jumping from course to course, looking at bots. I was doing just everything wrong that you could think of. And I was still somehow shocked that I wasn't making any progress. Now, all these things that I was doing wrong is a lot of stuff that I see in common with a lot of traders who are unprofitable today. So if that sounds familiar and you've been through a similar experience, stick around and let's talk about the 5 things that you can start doing to become profitable. And as you can see on the board behind me, number 1 is stop chasing shortcuts. This is something I see in common with a lot of traders. Because you can just go on your phone and click buy or sell and possibly make money, a lot of traders fall into this trap and that's all they keep doing. They never bother learning the right way to trade, and because it takes time and effort to go through that whole process of learning the right way, most traders just end up chasing these shortcuts that end up costing them money and time in the long run. One comparison I always make to traders is being a professional athlete. Becoming a professional athlete is not easy, and it takes a lot of work and dedication to become an athlete at the top of their game. And it's the same thing with traders. There's a lot of stuff that you have to do behind the scenes in order to find success when it comes to trading. For example, with athletes, most people, all they see is them show up to a game once a week or twice a week, play the game, and then they go home and they have their millions of dollars and they're super successful and they're living the best life. It's the same thing with trading. Most traders just show up in the market, click buy or sell, they make money, they lose money, then they show up the next day and do the same thing over again. But when you look at an athlete, a professional athlete, they are there because they're doing everything else behind the scenes. They are training the right way. They are taking care of their body with health and nutrition. Maybe they have a chef that they've hired, or they have a strict diet regimen that they stick with. Then they have other employees that they hire for stretching and mobility work. They go to meetings on a regular basis to discuss the film of the opponent and their own film. So all of these things that happen behind the scenes, most people don't see. All they see is what's on their screen. They see this athlete playing at the top of their game and think, you know what, that's just easy. It's the same thing when it comes to trading. Most traders are scrolling social media and all they see are Lamborghinis and traders on yachts showing $1 million accounts, flying in private jets, buying the most expensive food and buying the most expensive clothes. But that's not the reality of trading. The reality of trading is doing the work behind the scenes. That means showing up to your desk every single day, testing your strategy, journaling, working on your psychology. All these things that happen behind the scenes are usually not talked about on social media, and those are the things that actually make a difference. Same thing as an athlete. An athlete, even if it's LeBron James, Ronaldo, Patrick Mahomes, I don't care what athlete in what sport, they're not going to be at the top of their game if they're not practicing, they're not eating the right way, they're not working out, they're not watching their film. They're not going to be able to play at the highest level if they're not doing all those things behind the scenes. Again, it's the same thing with traders. You have to focus on the things that are behind the scenes, and when you take care of those things, everything else on the charts will take care of itself. Now let's get into point number 2, and that's finding a strategy that works. Now there's a ton of strategies out there. You can look at strategies with simple support and resistance, with trend lines, smart money concepts, indicators. There's strategies that use the sun and moon cycles. So there's a strategy out there for everybody. Some good, some not so good, but you're going to have to figure that out yourself. You have to find a strategy that works for you, that fits within your lifestyle, and something that has been proven to work and is duplicatable by you. Now, there's a ton of ways that you can learn different strategies. You have strategies on social media, obviously. On YouTube, there's a ton of different strategies out there. You can look at websites, you can look at mentorship, courses. Now, in my personal experience, a lot of the stuff that's out there is not so great. And that's why I had to find a mentor that knew what he was doing and was able to show me the ropes, because I was sick of looking on social media, trying to find what works, testing it, taking time out of my day, and at the end I would find out that that strategy doesn't even work in the long term. So you have to be very selective of where you're learning from. But there are a ton of credible traders out there that will teach you strategies, that will teach you how to trade. Some of them come at a cost, some of them are free, but you just have to go through the process of finding the right one for you. Now, if you're unprofitable right now and you're looking for a strategy, I do have a free Discord that I will link in the description below that you can check out and see how I trade and does it fit with how you want to trade and if it's going to work within your lifestyle. Now, step number 3 is building your edge. Once you have a strategy, what you need to do is conform that to your trading style. So if I was teaching you my strategy, that doesn't mean you're going to trade the same exact way that I trade. You might trade on Mondays, whereas I don't. You might trade on higher time frames where I'm trading on lower time frames. You could use different pairs. You might have additional confluences that you use. So there's a ton of customization that you can do with strategies. It's just about how you're going to personally trade that strategy and building your edge around that. Now, while you're testing this strategy and building your edge, you're also going to be building your trade plan along with it. So that will include things like when you trade, how often you trade, what do you trade. Your risk management rules will be involved there as well. Your trade management rules and all these other things that are going to be very, very precise to how you're going to trade this strategy. Now, the next step is going to be journaling. And as you can see on the board, I have journal capitalized because it is so important and it is something that so many traders do not do. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. Journaling is one of the more boring things that you have to do, but it is something you have to do. Most traders miss this part, and this is really where you're getting feedback from this strategy. It's telling you what's working, what's not working, and you're getting constant feedback about what you're doing with your trades. So you might see that during Asian session, you perform better than you do compared to London session, and maybe you cut out some of the trades during London session and you focus more on Asian session. Or a personal example for me, before I even started journaling my trades, I noticed that I was taking a lot more sells than I did buys. And because I didn't know the results of any of my trades, because I wasn't journaling at that time, what I started doing was making a conscious effort to start taking more buys and less sells. Now, this affected my overall trade performance. Once I started journaling, I noticed that my sells performed a lot better than my buys. But before I had this data telling me what's going on with my trades, I was actively trying to suppress the things that worked for me. So when you start journaling, you're going to notice these little data points and you're going to collect this feedback and be able to understand what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, what can you improve on, what do you need to cut out, and it's really going to help optimize your performance. Now, step number 5 goes hand in hand with journaling, and that's collecting data. So once you've learned a strategy and you're testing it, you're going to be journaling, collecting this data, reviewing this data on a weekly, monthly, quarterly basis. You're just seeing what works, what doesn't, and then from there, you're just making small changes to become more profitable over time. Now, I'm going to put another shameless plug in here for my Discord. If you don't currently have a trade journal, in my Discord, I offer a free trading journal that I have created that you can get access to. So once again, in the description below, there will be a link to my Discord. You can join the Discord, get access to that trade journal, look at the strategy that I use, and start trading and start improving from there. So those were the 5 steps that I think as a trader, you need to start following to get from unprofitable to profitable in a relatively short amount of time. Now, once you start reaching that profitability stage, there are different challenges and different steps that you have to do in order to improve and become better as a trader. But these are the first 5 steps you need to take that are going to give you the most results and that are going to help you become profitable faster. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of these 5 steps. Where are you currently with your trading journey? And if you'd like me to cover certain topics when it comes to trading, drop a comment. Let me know what you'd like me to make a video about so I can give you guys the best content that you need rather than just making some generic videos. That's it for this video, guys. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel to get notifications of upcoming videos, and I'll talk to you guys soon.